The Lahti L-39 is a Finnish 20mm anti-tank rifle used during the Second World War. It had excellent accuracy, penetration and range, but its size made transportation difficult. It was nicknamed Norsupyssy, and as tanks developed armour too thick for the Lahti to penetrate, its uses switched to long-range sniping, tank harassment, and with the L-39 44th fully automatic variant, an improvised anti-aircraft weapon. Development. AIMO Lahti had doubts about the original idea of a 13mm anti-tank machine gun and started working on a 20mm design. Officers who wanted smaller caliber anti-tank weapons believed that the muzzle velocity of 20mm shells was insufficient to penetrate armor, and a weapon with a higher rate of fire and in a smaller caliber would prove useful. As a result, Lahti designed two competing anti-tank weapons, a 13.2mm machine gun and a 20mm rifle. After test firing both weapons in 1939, they found that the 20mm rifle displayed better penetration. Operation. The rifle is a semi-automatic, gas-operated weapon with the piston located beneath the barrel and ammunition feed from detachable top-mounted magazine with bottom ejection for the spent cartridges. To reduce recoil, the rifle is equipped with a 5-hole muzzle brake and a padded leather recoil pad. The barrel had a wooden jacket as to allow transportation after firing. Usage. Winter War. During the Winter War, Finland lacked anti-tank weaponry. Only two 20mm rifles and a few 13.2mm machine guns made it to the front, where the 13.2mm machine guns were found to be ineffective and unreliable, while the larger 20mm rifles proved successful against Soviet armor. Because of this, Finland finally settled on the 20mm design and started production. The gun was also widely used in the Cold Charlie counter-sniper technique, where the Finns would use a mannequin posing as an officer sloppily covering himself. Soviet snipers would fire upon the mannequin, and the Finns would then return fire at the Soviet snipers with the Lahti L-39. Continuation War. The Continuation War was the second of two wars fought between Finland and the Soviet Union during World War II. Although the weapon was not able to penetrate newer Soviet tanks like the T-34 and KV-1, it still proved to be quite effective against bunker loopholes, embrasures, long-range targets, and even aircraft. A fully automatic version of the L-39 was made in small numbers that served as an anti-aircraft gun. Other good targets were snipers, and several weak spots on tanks, such as open-top hatches, especially with phosphorus ammunition. It was even able to damage tank turrets and pin them to stop traversal of the cannon. Approximately in December 1940, a Lahti L-39 replaced the original 13.2mm L-35/36 machine gun on the single Finnish L-182 armored car. This conversion was employed by the Armored Unit of 1 Division during 1941. After World War II, several of the rifles remained in service after World War II, serving as an anti-helicopter weapon, while many others were sold to collectors, mostly in the United States. Today the rifles, especially those in working condition, are quite rare and highly sought after. Some deactivated weapons have been reactivated due to the value. Ammunition is rare. Often they are rechambered to .50 BMG to lower the cost of use. In the United States of America, civilian ownership remains possible, depending on state and federal laws. Because the weapon fires rounds larger than .50 caliber, it is considered a destructive device and is subject to the 1934 National Firearms Act. Civilian ownership is dependent on compliance with this law and whether one's state law prohibits civilian ownership of destructive devices. Details of use. Users found the L-39 to be heavy and difficult to move in the battlefield. Even its magazine weighed almost 2 kilograms. The magazines had a covered viewing slit on the right side to indicate the number of rounds left in the magazine, and a 15-round magazine was later developed for anti-aircraft use. The whole weapon weighed some 50 kilograms and it was usually towed by horses, but when stripped down could be carried by several men. The rifle had adjustable iron sights calibrated between 200 and 1,400 meters and was equipped with unusual dual bipod, with 2 sets of legs, one with spikes for use on hard ground and the other with skids for use on soft ground, snow. In the field, a 2-man team was assigned to the gun to move and fire it. Some rifles were abandoned in the heat of battle, but they were easy to replace. By the end of the war, over 1,900 L-39s had been manufactured by VKT and put in the field. Bibliography. Kakela Urki, Maskin Panzerentühüge.